So the Trump administration, right? We do have Trump Roundup coming up here in a little bit. People watching on YouTube, it's going to be a separate clip. But he has rescinded protection for transgender students. This news item comes to us from the Huffington Post, and here it goes. President Donald Trump's administration announced on Wednesday that it will no longer bar schools from discriminating against transgender students, rescinding a policy put in place by the previous administration. So just another hack at the tree of Obama to bring that down. You know, let's just like negate anything that guy did. Let's just go ahead and do that. That's what the Republicans have wanted ever since he got fucking elected. They're like, we can't have that uppity black guy do things. You lie.
That's just it.
Progressive bad, regressive good.
So here's and the thing is, it's like I've heard people defend this already. They're defending it by saying that, well, he didn't take away any protections from transgender students. He's just, he just rescinded the policy that got put in place, the overreaching policy, which they view
wasn't overreaching.
No,
states don't get to overrule the rights of individuals. That's the fucking thing. Is that states don't get to say that individuals don't get rights. States don't get to say, no, we don't want gay marriage here now that it's the law of the land. And the reality is that trans students have rights. They have rights. And this isn't a states' rights issue. This is an individual's right issue. And the right always loves to talk about, the GOP always likes to talk about freedom and, liberty. And it's like, whose liberty? Whose liberty? And be fucking beware any policy that is to protect women, because it's not ever about protecting women. It is not ever about that. When men are sitting there saying, we got to protect our women, what they mean is we've got to control what being a woman is and how women's behave.
You know what's amazing?
And just like I'm not quite sure who said it today, but it was very poignant. Just like this isn't about bathrooms, it wasn't about drinking fountains and buses either.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that the protections that they're planning on doing for all these people is to protect them from things that are already crimes.
That's just it.
Voyeurism that they're talking about, being a peeping Tom, being a fucking sexual creep, that's a crime. Assaulting somebody, that's a crime. Rape, crime. These are all crimes that you saying you can't go to this bathroom.
Crime.
Yeah. Ugh, God damn it.
And women can already do those things in bathrooms to each other.
And I find
it doesn't matter if they're a trans woman. It's still a woman.
And you point out the bathroom thing, and you make all of the logical points with them, and they finally get to the point where they're like, okay, fuck, I can't go with bathroom anymore. Let's go ahead and talk about locker rooms. Yeah, let's talk locker rooms. It's like, I don't want some skeevy guy in there checking out some other woman, all my women's and stuff like that. And it's like, you do realize that there are lesbians in the world, right? You do realize that.
Yeah, and I've changed in front of them. And guess what?
Mm-hmm. Maybe they did scope. Maybe they did. Don't care. And it's like,
you know what? Exactly. You know what? Fuck all of it. Fuck gendered bathrooms. Fuck gendered bathrooms. Fuck gendered locker rooms. Because today I was naked in front of two men that I met for the first time, and it was fine. It was professional. They treated me like a human fucking being. Like it wasn't even a question in their mind that I deserved respect and professionalism.
And
yes, we did joke and we talked about how neat boobs are, and they didn't. And it wasn't because they were like, "Oh, your boobs are great." It was like, "No, they're still fun." Like it wasn't creepy or weird. They were staring at my boobs at parts because they were doing art off of them. Like,
I know to use an excuse with my wife from now on. I need to do art on all of you.
It's a great way.
I'm going to finger paint. That's what I'm going to do.
The only physical touch that I ever had was in shaking hands, and so fuck this whole thing. Like, oh, they could be oogling me. It's like, but you can literally look at it. You can literally look at another person and not be a fucking creep about it. Okay, that isn't a fucking option. So quit with this fucking shit. And that's really what they're scared of. They're really scared of themselves. Like, they're really scared of the eventual intermixing of bathrooms and locker rooms where naked people can see naked people, and then bodies won't be demonized, and then how will we control sex? Well, we won't, because people will be able to have sex, and it won't be an issue, because that's not a bad thing overall. That's really what they're scared of.
So
and when they talk about trans people, they just don't understand it.
Sweden, guys, Sweden. Yeah, I'm cool with Sweden.
Yeah, me too.
Sweden's fine.
So let's hear Attorney General Jeff Beauregard Sessions the Third.
By the way, it's spelled different, so don't even put me in that category.
Yeah, you're a Geoff. This is a F. Jeff F.
Yep.
That's what it is, Jeff. The prior guidance documents do not contain sufficient legal analysis or explain how the interpretation was consistent with the language of Title IX. The Department of Education and the Department of Justice therefore have withdrawn the guidance. Okay.
Wait.
No.
Okay.
The legalese was actually fairly
pretty
straightforward.
So let me-
like, it was
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah. So Congress, state legislatures, and local governments are in a position to adopt appropriate policies or laws addressing this issue. The Department of Justice remains committed to the proper interpretation and enforcement of the Title IX and to its protections for all students, including LGBTQ students, from discrimination, bullying, or harassment.
No, okay. We have a constitution that has a right to privacy. This means that these students who are identifying as female, if they insist that they are a girl or a boy, they have the right to privacy, and the school does not get to say that they are not that. They have a right to privacy. You do not get to tell them that because of what is in their pants, because if you know what is exactly in their pants, then I have some different crimes that you need to be charged with and convicted of right the fuck now.
Well,
the legal analysis originally was that there is no discernible difference between gender identity and gender. That was pretty much it.
Well, we can't. Honestly, we can't.
Too bad legality doesn't mean anything anymore.
No kidding.
Well, and here's the real interesting kicker here is that the education secretary, the one that is completely unqualified for this job, Betsy DeVos, was reportedly against rescinding this order. And she initially resisted signing off on it. But guess who, in regards of making both departments in agreement on this thing, pushed her to do so? Jeff Beauregard Sessions pushed her.
Not me.
So in a statement on Wednesday, DeVos said that she considered protecting all students, including lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender and queer students, is not only, quote, a key priority for the department, but for every school in America.
It should be for every human.
You are talking out both sides of your fucking mouth. We're going to rescind something that protects people, and we're saying that we're doing that to protect them.
Right. We get into this back and forth, and you get a couple little snippets of someone that says, "Oh yeah, I totally agree with her," and that sounds amazing. Like just what Mia Love did this past couple days.
Oh God!
But this sounds awesome.
I have to.
But there's a lot to go into that. You're like, okay, now that sounds awesome. So I like that person, and that's our mentality of as a very social being and living in the society that we do. But you've got to remember what they've done as a whole, or not even know what they've done as a whole in DeVos. In the DeVos case, you have no idea how she is. So she gets this little teeny tiny little thing in her craw, whatever. But she and she says, "Oh,
if you were on Godless Revolution, goddamn, Matt would have been on your ass for that one."
Well, Matt's been on my ass for so many things, even when I'm not there. But that's fine. I love Matt. I love him.
On your ass.
He's the greatest guy I ever know. But more like
that's for the video people out there. Yeah,
exactly. So, don't give her a pass because she has
no,
teeny tiny thing that is right. Because just I'm going to give you an old adage here. It's a clock that breaks down is right twice a day.
Yep.
So it's the same thing. Don't give her a pass because this is bullshit. It's still bullshit. Just because she has a teeny tiny inkling, which she eventually reversed, not eventually, immediately reversed. She doesn't have any credence
under
with
pressure.
her position.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. No. She's still terrible. But I mean, I would have applauded if she had, and if she consistently had made right decisions like this, if she'd stuck with it, which she already failed. If she'd stuck with it, if she consistently made right decisions despite all the issues with her private education voucher thing, which highly unlikely, then you know what? You're right. Maybe I'll change my mind. It has to be consistency.
Yep. So she said that this is an issue best solved at the state and local level.
Schools, no, it's not.
Schools, communities, and families can find, and in many cases have found, solutions to protect all students. So here's the interesting thing here is that Trump has tried to portray himself as a defender of the LGBT community, pledging in the RNC speech that he did, the Republican National Convention, that he would protect its members from terrorist attacks. Right. I don't recall that being a target of terror attacks, for one. I mean, okay, so the Pulse nightclub thing happened, but that's because the guy was a self-hating gay, and then he just decided to say, oh, yeah, I did this for ISIS. No. Nope. You just hated yourself. You hated that you're having these feelings about yourself because you...
I mean, Islam does hate gays, but
the thing is, it's always been death to America, not death to trans people. They haven't specifically sought out, But
I mean, the thing is that demonizing gay people and making them unwelcome in the country in which they were born and that they live in is not protecting them from terrorism. That is subjecting them to a personal terrorism every fucking day of their life.
Yeah.
So it's just because Trump means terrorism. Brown people who go that's what he means.
That's the trick, Captain.
Yeah.
I'm always angry.
Yeah, he only knows of one form of terrorism. Not the kind his buddies do.
To round out let's finish up this article real quick. He said during the RNC about the preventing from terrorist attacks. He said, however, he does not support marriage equality, even though he considers the issue settled law because the Supreme Court ruled on the matter. During the campaign, Trump said that he supported the North Carolina HB2 bill that barred cities from putting in protections for LGBTQ individuals. His administration has also been considering at least 2 anti-LGBTQ executive orders that haven't come across yet, but you can guarantee he's fucking writing them right now. And Sean fucking Spicer, Melissa McCarthy, said that Tuesday that the president considered transgender rights to be a, quote, a states' rights issue and not one for the federal government, which is amazing to me because at the fucking press conference that he did, I think either today or the day before, they were talking about how the federal government is going to start going after recreational weed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
States' rights when it matters to them. For everything else, crushing underneath the federal government.
Fucking they don't pricks. It's not about freedom. They don't even
hear themselves. They don't even fucking hear themselves.
No, they don't
care, though. They don't care. It's about control. It's about power. It's about control. Right. It's about power. Never forget that. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It has nothing. They'll sell it under state rights, and they'll sit there and sell it under freedom and use these words, but that's not ever what it is.
So we have a great.
It's about power and control.
We got a great quote from Eliza Beyer, the executive director of the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. And she says, I find it obscene that Mr. Spicer would characterize the well-being, the health, and the very safety of transgender young people as an issue of states' rights. The fact is that no child in America should have their rights subject to their zip code.